Yo, today I'm going over one of my Reddit comments, and the question today is what's the biggest thing holding most people back? For those who have the desire to improve themselves but can't seem to make any improvement, what do you think is probably holding them back? And I'll be honest, this was a great question, and there was a lot of engagement from this question. Honestly, there was a lot of engagement, and it's because the question was great, and it's one of those growth minded questions. It starts a big conversation and everyone's throwing in inputs, and the whole thread had a lot of great things to from coming from people. Like, they had great points, and all in all, it was just a great post. Now this was 5 months ago. What am I doing reviewing this 5 months later? Well, if you haven't been following my series I've been following up from when I first started on Reddit, and how trying to go through all of my comments to see if I can like further discuss them, and put it into a video where everyone could talk about the points. Now, this is 5 months old, but I've read through it, and there are still a lot of points we can pick out, and there's a lot of value. There's a lot of value from this. Now, the thing to I need to keep to have a note is that this is a brief answer. So like there's a lot more to discuss, to unpack, to go in depth on. But this is just about awareness. Like, all in all, there's a lot to learn. But if you're trying to help someone else learn, the content matters a lot, but also the delivery, how you package what you're saying, also matters as well. And for example, this video, I can't make a 2 hour video discussing this, because people aren't going to want to watch this for 2 hours, and I probably don't want to make it for 2 hours. But if I try package it in a shorter format, that it focuses more on awareness rather than detail, it helps get the message across, and people can start having more discussions about it after the fact. Now, here is my response. Well, let's break down what I say. Since there are so many different reasons, I'll list five. Now, I like that response, and this is, even though this is 5 months old, I'm gonna treat it like it's the best representation of who I was at the time I was writing it. I focus on a few points, and I make that the introduction, because it's key to understand that there's a lot to go into. But if you focus on a few things, you can start to unwind on what benefits are there in regards to personal growth and improvement. The first two things I list them as one, and is lack of self-discipline and procrastination. Now, these two things here are problematic things. They are problematic things, and they come as a pack sometimes. And I mentioned that these two come hand in hand, because if self-discipline is implemented, this can be reduced. You can want something really bad, but if you do not work towards it, then it will continue to stay a want. Yes, if you really want something, but you don't take any action towards it, it will continue to be a want. It will never become something that you have. It will always be a desire. But if you want to make it an actual outcome for yourself, you need to take action. You need to put in some effort. And self discipline is one of the things that, when you practice it, it allows you to get things done. And really, the self discipline means you create a list of rules for yourself and you stick to them, regardless of the occasion. And it comes down to, people mention about hard work and talent. Talent is the skills that you acquire. Talent. People say talent is the things that you're sort of born with, and you're you're naturally better at them. However, hard work is where self discipline comes in place, and being able to stick to that time that you set for yourself weekly, those goals that you set for yourself, just having that measurable way, and well, not measurable, but just having that way that you're gonna make things happen no matter how you feel about it. And it comes down to self responsibility and accountability. Saying to yourself, I'm gonna do what needs to be done. Whatever I'm responsible for, I will try my best to stick to it. And If I don't stick to it, that's life. It happens. I just need to learn from my mistakes. But at the end of the day, that is my goal. You have to push past the feelings of laziness and the thoughts of I can't do this to positive thoughts that promote sticking to achieving your goals. So I mentioned, having a bit of resilience and practicing resilience to be able to push past that procrastination and that feeling that you cannot do something. And saying that you cannot do something over and over again, it leads towards that fixed mindset and that poor mindset of, and that negative mindset of you can't do anything, you're not able to achieve things, you're not good enough. Stray away from that as much as you can, because it will never benefit you in your life. Be more positive minded and it will always benefit you. So, to push past the feelings of procrastination, the thing about procrastination is that procrastination it makes you wait things out. It makes you delay things. Like you wanna achieve something today, and you pick up this procrastination and you say, you know what, I got a list of things I would love to just do, and I'm gonna hold this off until tomorrow. This goal this thing I'm responsible for, tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And you pick up this thing called the Mr. Tomorrow syndrome, which I just named it myself. Is based on the concept that when you have something to do, like let's say for example, you have a goal that you want to complete every day, just one simple goal. You pick up this habit of saying, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to be a perfect person and I'll be able to achieve it. Tomorrow I'll have more free time. Tomorrow I'll be in the mood. Tomorrow I might feel less of fatigue and laziness and I'll be able to work towards it. However, this tomorrow it's not really about the day tomorrow. It's about not doing it right now. So it's not about in the future. You're worrying about right now. You're saying right now, I don't even want to think about it. And this whole Mr. Tomorrow syndrome, it becomes a thing where you become this person who is Mr. Tomorrow or Mrs. Tomorrow. You're just telling yourself, look, I'm gonna do it another day. Well, I'm gonna do it next week. I'm gonna do it, you know what, later today. Maybe later today. No, actually I'm gonna do it next week. But you become this person that's so infatuated and obsessed with a future perfect version of yourself that in reality what you're doing is that you're neglecting doing things now because of your laziness. And understanding procrastination and facing it is difficult, but it is necessary so that you can actually make some progress. And I do make a note about a book that would be great for you to understand a little bit more about procrastination, and in more of a sense of habits. It's leaning towards habits, how to create habits and how to break out of this procrastination. Just build some good habits. And I recommend Atomic Habits by James Clear. He goes really in depth in building good habits and destroying bad habits. And I'm gonna leave that for the book insight I'm gonna do. But if you're not gonna watch that, go read his book because it's a great book. Now, third point is inconsistency. A great error that people fall into, and even me, is inconsistency and being, inconsistent. Being honest, man, everyone falls into inconsistency at one point. This is okay when you can keep it controlled, because everyone has breaks and falls sometimes. But it is essential to get back on track to achieving your goals. And I'm pushing on the fact that you should be in control of yourself somewhat. To some extent, have some control so that you don't go off the rails. You're not some party animal that just you're consistent for 1 week and for the next 6 months you're off the rails and you gave up on every single thing that you're supposed to do. You can have your dips and your highs and your valleys, your highs and your lows, but try to keep it steady as much as possible. No matter what happens, try keep control, because you are in control of your ship and of your mind. And that is the deciding factor for if you will continue to stay afloat in this life mentally, or if you will start to sink. Just understand you have control and just calm down and analyze things as you go through them. Some people fall out of their consistent behavior and are not persistent enough to get back up and continue. Exactly that. There's people, for example, that they mess up a few times, and by the time they mess up the second time or the third time, they're willing to give up. They've already made their mind that they're not good enough for anything else. They just keep messing up with life. They don't want to even try again, and they just throw everything out the window. When they don't know that if they came back again to try 3 or 5 more times, they could have done something amazing with what they're doing. So please don't be like that. Don't be like that guy, that picture of the guy mining in the cave, and he's one pickaxe block away from diamond. And what he does is he gives up because of his inconsistent slash self-doubt in himself. This is one of the reasons many people don't achieve their goals. One of the many reasons people don't achieve their dreams, fulfill their purpose, find that diamond that they're looking for in their life. So consistency is what helps you see the results, because you are so adamant about achieving something that you're going out again and again and again and again, and there is bound to be something that comes out of it. And a great book that I recommend on this is The Compound Effect, and it mentions about really the whole concept of consistency and how small steps over time it will make a difference. And that is almost the concept of consistency that I like to follow, that take small steps as often as you possibly can, and that will help you in the long term. No matter how small it is in one, times that one by 1,000 and you do the maths. Impatience, number 4. Impatience is another reason people don't achieve their goals. It is easy for me to write about achieving goals, even as I'm writing this post, but it's harder to actually work towards your goals and stick through periods and long weeks. Okay, so the first bit is kind of an introduction to impatience. Second bit is not really relating to impatience, but it's still an important thing to discuss, I guess. So let's go over this whole thing. Easier said than done. A lot of the advice I give, or many people give, is easier to talk about it than to actually do it. And that's a matter of the fact. So don't get so invested in what I say and what you say. Get invested in what you do, because that is one of the defining factors of whether or not you achieve anything in this life. Now, the second thing, kind of the introduction for impatience, and it's the reason why people don't stick through those long periods. And in reality, it's not like it's not all easy. And Rocky Balboa said it great, and I'm not gonna. I hope there's no offense to Rocky Balboa, but he said it's not all sunshines and rainbows. And he was talking to his son. He was telling him that you can't blame anybody but yourself, and that life isn't just a fairy tale land. It's not Disneyland. Life has its valleys and its lows and its highs. You really just have to kind of stay patient in these regards. And one of the most important concepts in Islam is patience. Sabr is the word in Arabic. And being steadfast upon your religion, and being steadfast when calamities hit you. And it's one of the most gratifying and one of the most inspiring things to me as a Muslim, and to me as a person. Be patient upon what's happening in your life, because if you're patient enough to see things out, to see things through, then you will see the sunshine at one point. And especially if you're working towards achieving something as you're going through these struggles. People that are not dedicated will not see through, and their patience will run thin. This is another big reason for people not achieving their dreams. And I guess the written response from me didn't really go much into impatience, but I guess that was very brief. But it's just about the awareness. People will hear about the word impatience, see that description, and look into themselves. Now, the last one is low self-esteem. In the book, As a Man Thinketh, James Allen mentions that you are only capable of achieving good things when you have good thoughts. To quote him, good thoughts bear good fruits, bad thoughts bear bad fruits. This is one example from his book about how the process of continuous growth and achievement starts with the mind and promoting positive thoughts and a positive attitude. And I've seen it in my own life, and that's why I love to quote work from him and, you know, from Nathaniel Branden as well, who wrote The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem, which is another book. I'll eventually recommend it, but that's another book I recommend. The idea of positive thoughts and positive actions and positive beliefs is something that's benefited my life. So if this benefited me, I would like the same for others. I've been on Reddit for only a few days, and from the many posts I have commented on in this subreddit, it is clear that this problem is another reason why people don't achieve their goals. For more understanding on how to increase self-esteem, there is a book, a great book called The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Branden. I think I spelled his name wrong there. Sorry, Branden. I hope this helped answer your question. Have a great week. Now, the thing about this is that I still hold true to the whole statement about Reddit having this issue, and as well as Quora having a similar issue, and many people having this issue of really having negative views about themselves, and you start to see it through their posts. It's almost like the words are painting a million pictures for you. You start to visualize how this person is. This person, this guy, this girl is really going through it, and they really hate themselves to the point that they won't see light in them, even if you went to the sun. They won't see any light on them. They just see darkness. And it's such a simple thing to improve, and it's such a thing that is overlooked, unfortunately, but it's such an essential thing to work on. And to kind of lean again into Nathaniel Branden's work on the 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem, he mentions 6 daily practices that you can go through to kind of promote self-esteem. And his book in the entirety is a great explanation of what self-esteem is and how to improve it. So I'll leave that to him, and also my book insight that I done for his book, which I think was great. And again, if you're not interested in that, check out the summaries online, read his book. I think I've mentioned more than enough on self-esteem in that regard. So yeah, but thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.